Welcome to the Wealth Rebel Show. I'm your resident Wealth Rebel, Emma Wright, and today I wanted to talk to you about how I launched a new venture literally within the last 8 weeks. I've brought a new part to my business, and I keep getting asked by you guys about how I did it, how I do it all around my really real commitment to my wealth. Wealth is not about money. Wealth is wealth is about your well-being, right? Your energy, your abundance, your lifestyle, your time, and your health. Your wealth is your vibe, it's your vibration. And fundamentally, I get asked all the time, how do you live this life where I see you, the Wealth Rebel on Instagram, you're out riding or you're out running. It was really interesting. I had a guy doing work on my place last week, and I think he thinks that I do nothing all day because I was working in my place, but then I was in and out having coffee or meeting a friend or going for a run. And he's like literally there, dawn till dusk, working on the place and looking at me thinking, how do you do all of this stuff? So I wanted to do a video about, you know, how I managed to literally dream up an idea and within 8 weeks, I'm making it a reality. And the reason I want to share this with you is fundamentally, you have to do things that you love, that the world needs, that you're going to get paid for, and that you're already good at. And then you can go on and do the things that you want to get even better at to bring that in. So, and the biggest key to doing this is my star code. I bang on about it. My method, my 8-step method. I literally live and breathe the star code, which is my 8 steps that takes me from manifesting, which is basically just dreaming what I want to do, all the way through to creation, to bring the physical parts of wealth, which are money, more time, more energy, and more of me into the world, because that's what the formula of wealth is. I love a formula. So, you know, the biggest part, and this is the step one of the 8 steps, the biggest part, if you want to really be wealthy, is you have to come into your beingness. You have to give yourself time to get to know yourself. You have to hear what it is that your heart wants to do. And that's when we do step one of the 8-step framework. And I do this all the time because the 8 steps is an infinity sign. It's the power of 8, really, is just an endless cycle of coming back to the start and giving yourself the chance to go back to yourself. And I've been doing this my whole life. I've always been super intuitive. My human design is 2-4 sacral generator. So I make decisions from my gut, and I've always made decisions from my gut. I talked about that recently on a podcast interview that I did, right? I do things that my gut wants, my intuition is telling me to do, and then I follow it. That's what took me to the trading floor in London. That's what then took me to being a chartered financial planner. And that's what then took me into coaching and the life that I am doing today. And, one of the biggest things is allowing yourself to come inward and hear what it is that you want to do. When I did this recently and I took some time out and I sat with myself and I allowed myself to reactivate my dreams. I've been through a right year of it this year. I'm not going to lie. I've left my marriage. I've moved to a new place. I've made massive changes. And a big part of this year was rebuilding myself, my life, and keeping my business moving forwards. But then it got to a point where I realized that I'd had this dream. I've always wanted to be like a masseuse, like a therapist, like use my hands, be around people, not just be online, right? My online business is super important to me because I can reach people anywhere in the world. That's what I love about my podcast. I can have conversations with someone that's in the south of France whilst I'm in North Devon. It becomes an incredible tool, but I get activated when I have real human conversations. And one of the gifts that I've realized is using my hands and being around people. And I've had this dream. I've always wanted to have a studio. I've always wanted to be a massage therapist. And for a long time, I thought, get real, Em. Like, you're not a masseuse. You can't do this. And so when I allowed myself to be activated, I allowed myself to dream, I allowed myself to really go deep, go into, the power of ikigai. I then, which is step 2 of the 8-step framework, once I'd activated and realized that I had this dream, I then thought about the power of ikigai. What is my purpose? What am I already good at? And I'd spent this whole year self-healing with Reiki. And this is not a coincidence. Nothing in life happens because of coincidence, okay? It's synchronicities. Your life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. So you can learn, so you can evolve. So I started my Reiki journey really intuitively with Sam Hardwick, who literally I started having Reiki with her because in January and this was before I even left my marriage, okay? I just knew that I wanted to have Reiki. I then met my soul coach in May, having gone through a really, really, really hard time in April and May, and found my soul coach. And then I started doing Reiki on myself. She introduced me to a program where I could start to self-heal. And I realized I love Reiki. And then I realized as I was self-healing that I'm really good at it. And I started to then think, okay, maybe this is something I can do. And as I allowed myself to do my self-healing, because when you're in that moment, when you are in meditation, and this is why when I do step 1 in the mastery school, right, you have meditations that I create so you can hear and you can go inward and you can find what it is that you really love and desire and dream about. And that's so, so important that been dreaming about being a masseuse, and I'm a bit of a Viking. My heritage, my one of my mum's name is Ingolson, and I really believe in Swedish massage. And so 8 weeks ago, a load of other synchronicities. I won't go into all the synchronicities were happening, and I realized that I wanted to bring a healing part to my business because I realized that one of the things that was holding up the 8-step framework or even the work that I was doing with my one-to-one clients was the fact that we were constantly trying to do the strategy. So yeah, as part of the 8-step framework, we create a life strategy, we create a financial plan, we create a business strategy, and we create a wealth blueprint for you to go and take action. That is all in the doing energy. That is all in the yang. And we know that in order to create, creation comes from the yin and the yang. Okay. The yin part is the healing. The yin part is the going inward. The yin part is listening to your heart, your soul, your gut, turning this off the head, right? The thing that's going to tell you to not face your fears and do it anyway, right? And massively, I think one of the biggest things, because I've been healing and I've been on this journey, I knew I had to bring a healing practice. And I knew that I was already good at Reiki. And it was going to take me, literally, then in 8 weeks, I spoke to Kat. I said, how can I get signed off as a Reiki practitioner? She said, you just need to practice. So I went out and got 5, 6 people to practice. I was inundated with people that wanted to experience Reiki. And now that's all going through and it's going to be ready. I went out and asked for a studio, a place to work with. I went and spoke to Ali, got a place that I could do my actual clinic. And then I've arranged it. I start on the 1st of November because I already have everything that I need to get started. And then I signed up for a Swedish massage course. So today I'm going to Bideford. It's still dark outside. I'm going to Bideford to do my Swedish massage course because it's what I'm not yet good at. I'm good at it because I'm doing it, but I need to get the accreditation for it. But it's what I love, it's what the world needs, and it's what I'm going to get paid for. It's a part of what I want to create in the overall healing experience. Because for me, healing should be pleasure and moving knots out of your body whilst doing Reiki, or Reiki, very intuitive. Whatever you need, you will get from me. And I wanted to bring in massage therapy, Swedish in particular, because I have a real connection with the whole body experience, the face, the head, the feet, the shoulders, the chest. The whole body needs to be in fluidity. It needs to be in flow if it's going to heal itself. And your body wants to heal itself. One of the biggest things that I've done because I've been doing all of this year. I've been doing my hot and cold, my cold water immersion, my sauna, my Reiki. I've been getting massage, right? All of these things I've been experiencing, and all of the things you can incorporate so easily into your healing process. What it did to me, because I was doing this in the lead up to January as well. For the last 18 months, I've been intuitively going to Saunton before I moved to Braunton to use the spa, to do my yoga, to move that yin and yang energy, right? And that's why my intuition is so strong. And that's why I believe massively in intuitively launching life and business and not using your mind. Your mind will keep you in fear. Your mind is here to look out for threats and rewards. And what I've experienced over the last 18 months, and now over the last 6 months to 8 months in particular, was I was dreaming up being a massage therapist. I was dreaming up being this clinic. And what enabled me to launch my new venture over the last 8 weeks, following my 8-step framework, constantly in that constant cycle of manifestation to creation, is the fact that because I've allowed myself to do this, it's really given my trust in myself. And that's what you're doing. You're building trust in self so that when you face a fear of, I'm not good enough to launch a new business, who am I to, within 8 weeks, do something so radical? You become fearless. In my pants, right? I'm not going to lie. I'm really nervous about launching a new part of my business. I'm thinking, how am I going to market this in a different way? Because it is different to what I do in my wealth empowerment coaching. But then I'm finding the solutions as I'm moving along because I'm trusting my intuition. And every time a block comes up, and this is one of the things, this is step 3 in the 8-step framework, is looking at the roadblocks and then mapping out the ways around it, because we don't change these life-changing goals. We find an intuitive way around the blocks. I face my fears and do it anyway. Every single time you face a fear, you're releasing that trauma in your body and you become fearless. And when you become fearless, what's the opposite of fear? Fear is love. You're living in a vibration of love. So your vibe is constantly going up. You're becoming magnetic and realizing that you can do anything you want to do in your life. Anything, literally anything. So I just wanted to share that with you today. I wanted to jump on and give you this real snippet. If you want to learn about this, how I launched this business in 8 weeks, if you want to learn my 8-step framework to literally taking your dreams and bringing them into physical reality, okay, because wealth is a physical thing that we want to experience. We want to have more time, energy, and more of you out there in the world being you. Then come to my Wealth Activation Mastery class. The link is below. Come along, join me at the end of October. And, you can come into my private Zoom room. You can ask me anything. I'm here for it. And if you love what I'm talking about, if there's anything that you want to know as you're watching me and you want to know anything from me, don't be a stranger. Pop in the comments, ask me a question, tell me what you want me to talk about. I'm always here to create content and this is where this content came from. So I just love the fact that people will always ask questions, because then I can create a video and I can share just that piece of golden nugget. It's just simple, right? Give yourself time to go inward and face your fears and do it anyway, and trust your intuition, because your intuition is your soul and heart and gut speaking to you. So yeah, if you love what I create here in the Wealth Rebels show, like, subscribe, and follow. It means the world, and share it wide. Namaste.